got better in style. I should think about pride. I do. Things get better with time. Yet souls never undie. It's a haiku. These thoughts never can die. These tears never gonna dry when I lose you. Some hearts double inside. Your short head grow inch line with the Grinch do. I don't have time cause the race do. Factor in lies that are birth through. On the way up, slugfest.
Welcome back to the Monday Evening Football Daily Show. A little less daily these days, but still bringing the NFL action all around the NFL. Or the PAFL if, you're Pat McAfee and the boys and the NFL's coming at you, so you got to come at them back. Craziness going on all around the NFL, whether you're in the NFL, just talking about the NFL. We got trades. We got Halloween costumes. We got football. And that's what we're here to talk with you about today. So we got a great episode for you today. Monday Evening Football Daily Show, a little less daily. Today is November 2nd. Thank you all for tuning in with us. So, let's get right into it. We got a lot of trades to talk about, a lot to recap. It's been a fun-filled trade deadline for pretty much all NFL fans. Even if your team got in on the action, if they didn't get on the action. I know my team, we didn't get in on the action. We didn't. But don't look at that as a negative. Look at that as a positive. You maybe tried, put in some offers. It just didn't work your way. And I know we're all feeling like Squidward looking out of his window and seeing Patrick and SpongeBob run around, have a great time. But it'll be okay. It'll be okay if your team didn't make any trades. There's a lot that goes into those types of things. So, vent your frustration yesterday, today, and let's move on. Move on because we got football. We're excited for football this time of year. But let's just recap some of the things that has happened, within the last couple weeks of this trade deadline. And obviously, to kind of kick this whole thing off, we had Robbie Anderson, Christian McCaffrey getting dealt from the Panthers, Robbie going to the Cardinals, Christian going to the 49ers. Then we followed that up with James Robinson getting sent out to the Jets because Breece Hall had his injury and the Jets still want to stay competitive. All right. Kadarius Toney from the Giants to the Chiefs was done. Obviously, Robert Quinn being sent off to the Eagles to be a contender with them. Bears defense looking to, move some of those bigger pieces, some of those Pro Bowlers, trying to get picks, some compensation back to rebuild for the future. Obviously, the Bears got Chase Claypool, which is going to help Justin Fields be a better quarterback because you have a more competent wide receiver there out on the field with him. And then let me just pull it up here. Let's just get into it. The Colts getting rid of Nyheim Hines, going to the Buffalo Bills. I think the Bills see that Hines can be a guy that's a little more serviceable than maybe one or two of the backs that they currently already have. I think the Bills definitely, get stronger in that aspect. Definitely shored up that running back room. And interdivisional trade. Most teams don't do it, but the Lions and Vikings says, we're not most teams, which is true. You guys both historically just been not too great. Lions more so than the Vikings. But T.J. Hawkinson getting sent to the Vikings. I talked with my guy Bobby, who's big Lions fan, diehard Lions fan, day one Lions fan. He said he was happy to see T.J. Hawkinson go, and they loved the draft value that they got back for him. So hopefully they can build through the draft there. And, maybe they can't. Maybe they can. So that's something we'll have to see. Vikings get a tight end after Irv Smith, I believe, went down with injury, which is the spot they were looking to shore up as they continue to be a good football team and press forward to win the NFC North. So it's possible that they do that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Is that going to come back to bite the Lions in the butt? Are the Lions going to be, a team? Who knows? I think after watching Hard Knocks this year, everyone came into the NFL football season very high on the Lions. They're like, okay, DC Campbell, I like him. Jamal Williams, he seems like he's a guy. He's got that dog in him that we talk about so much. Jared Goff, maybe he is a serviceable quarterback. Like, he obviously went to the Super Bowl. All that being said, the Lions just haven't panned out. They've come close. They've gotten very close to winning these games. They're scoring a lot on offense. Patriots shut them out. Don't know what that was about, but they did it. So, we'll see. Obviously, the Lions kind of not closing up shop, but moving a piece to get some assets back to help them in the future. They feel like they got a strong, solid core. Bears shipping off. All right, testing 1 2. All right, we're back. Sorry, pulled my mic out. Technical difficulties. It happens from time to time. Roquan Smith getting sent to the Ravens. Ryan Poles came out today, a couple days after the trade, saying, man, that was a tough one. He didn't want to have to do that. He kind of saw Roquan being a guy that was going to be in the long-term picture, he said. But obviously not being able to get to a deal before the season left a bad taste in Roquan's mouth. He wanted to trade out of Chicago, ultimately getting that going to a Baltimore Ravens team that has Lamar Jackson, has a lot of great things going for him. Now they add Roquan Smith to that mix. We'll see if that team steps it up a notch, gets to a higher level, and can, be a great team with Roquan Smith. Now, there was a trade that happened at the trade deadline, the past couple of days, that left maybe, some people scratching their head. It's like, it's an interesting trade. It's like you're really kind of betting on this guy, to be able to come back and play at a high level. And it's like sometimes those bets that you place when making trades don't really pan out. And so, I understand why they did it. I understand why they're taking this risk, taking this bet. It's kind of like a 5-leg parlay. Similar. It's kind of like a 5-leg parlay. But when the Jacksonville Jaguars trade the Falcons for Calvin Ridley, who was suspended all of this year for betting on the game where the Falcons played the Jaguars, it's interesting. It's a big gamble by the Jaguars. It is a gamble, okay? But one that could ultimately pay off for the Jaguars and giving Trevor Lawrence the tools that he needs. Calvin Ridley, he was a guy when he was playing. Got hurt, started gambling. No-no in the NFL. That's a no-no. Can't do that. We'll see because, you got a lot of time on your hands, Calvin. What are you doing with that time? Maybe you're taking your friend's little FanDuel app and being like, hey, let me place a couple of these bets. And maybe you got that itch. You got that bug in you now. If you do, definitely follow Monday Evening Football. On Mondays, we put out our bets that you can follow along with, if you're that guy still. But if not, I know you'll probably use this time to reflect, get better as a person, as a human being. And if that's the case, the Jags made a great trade. Now we'll have to see how it pans out. Obviously, it's a future. You're looking to the future there. But, man, you can get a guy like Calvin Ridley. That's a pretty big, like, splash a little bit, I guess. Dolphins getting Jeff Wilson, the running back from San Francisco, after they got Christian McCaffrey. And Chase Edmonds going to the Broncos in a trade for Bradley Chubb. So the Broncos get a running back that it does seem like they desperately needed. It didn't seem like that running back room that they had there between the injuries and not being productive. Definitely needed someone to come in. Who knows? Chase Edmonds might come in. Might be a guy. Could be a guy. New change of scenery. Might get the good old wheels turning a bit. But yeah, crazy NFL trade deadline this year. I think the NFL owners, GMs, we obviously copycat league. we say it all the time. A lot of the NFL owners and GMs are saying, hey, we can make a push here, or we could trade this draft pick for a guy that is already proven. And if he's already proven, that's better than a draft pick that have to get acclimated to the NFL and hope to be a guy. Put in a good system that he's comfortable with, can pick it up quickly. If you have a guy that's in the NFL, he's already performing, maybe not at the top level anymore, like a guy like Chase Claypool who, had Noodle Arm Ben and, whoever else he had throwing to him. But, maybe you see a rebound like with the Chase Claypool and Justin Fields. Maybe you see that connection become dynamic. As a Packers fan, I hope I don't. But as a football fan, you could see it. You could see a guy like Chase Edmonds kind of revitalize his career after being bounced around a couple of places. So, super exciting. Like I said, the NFL owners, they're realizing, hey, there might be some more value here to trade mid-season. See where we're lacking early on in the season. Like, okay, defensive tackle, we got to go get one. Defensive end, we got to go get one. Or, just being able to see those as a couple games progress, seeing where you might need an extra guy. You go out and get that piece. Trade a little draft capital. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But also, nothing wrong with not trading your draft capital either. So, we're standing on the fence there, playing both sides. But one person who was a little upset about this year's draft, more than anyone else, was that man, Brandon Cooks of the Houston Texans. Obviously, he was not at practice yesterday. They said it was for personal reasons. He was on Twitter all day liking all of the trade rumors. And then, when push come to shove and the trade deadline had come and passed, he was still on the Houston Texans. So, he took to Twitter to tweet, and don't take a man's kindness for granted. Covered for the lies for too long, those days are done. Crossed the line playing with my career. So what does that mean? I think Brandon Cooks is a little upset with the Houston Texans organization. And if you remember when Randall Cobb got traded out of there, he did say that the Packers, they're more like an Amazon or an Apple. And these Houston Texans, they're more of like a startup, still trying to figure stuff out. And you might have seen an example of that here, telling Brandon Cooks stay home. They saying it's for personal reasons. Now, obviously, Lovie Smith said trade him. What kind of question is that? Obviously, it's really not up to Lovie. Obviously, Lovie Smith wants Brandon Cooks in the room. Obviously, he wants him on the team. But it does appear that maybe the higher-ups said, hey, Brandon Cooks, stay home. You're probably going to get traded. And then he didn't get traded because maybe they were asking for too much for him. And then the trade deadline came and went. And it's like, yeah, as a player, I think that would be pretty frustrating to be told to stay home. You're probably going to be traded today. And speculation. All speculation here. I don't know nothing. I got this insiders club, but it's for basketball. It's not for football, okay? So, I don't know. It's all speculation. But I speculate Brandon Cooks a little upset. Speaking of someone who might be a little upset, it could potentially be that man, Jerry Jones, down in Dallas, because he had one of the best Halloween costumes, but it could be a very expensive Halloween costume. We'll have to see if the NFL has a sense of humor or not, because Jerry Jones definitely dressed up as an NFL referee, but not just any NFL referee. He dressed up as a blind NFL referee. Which, obviously, if you know anything about the NFL, you can't say anything about the refs in a negative light, disparaging, anything like that. Now, it's Halloween, you dress up, it's what you do. This is where I say, how much of a funny bone does the NFL have with this Jerry Jones costume? But, he is probably going to get fined. He's probably going to get fined. At the end of the day, he's going to get fined because that's what the NFL is all about, is finding their players, their GMs. And you know what? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, he might get fined, which I don't think is anything Jerry Jones is too concerned about. He's probably thrilled about the Halloween costume. Jerry Jones is a guy that says any publicity is good publicity, and he will definitely stoke that fire when need be. You know. So, but Jerry Jones seems to do it well. And, we'll see. We'll see if at the end of the season they're competitive, maybe in the market to get a guy like OBJ as well. I know one team that was potentially looking at OBJ or would be open to talking with Odell was his old former team. And I know I'm not talking about the Cleveland Browns. I think he would never go back to the Cleveland Browns, not even if you paid him $1 trillion. Maybe $1 trillion, but you get the idea. But the Giants, their GM, Joe Schoen, something like that. Sorry, not a linguist. But he said the Giants would be open to talking with Odell, which would be very interesting. Like, has enough time passed in New York where New York would take Odell back with open arms? I think New York would, but I don't know. They're a good football team. They got Daniel Jones, who's been solid. Saquon Barkley, who's been running well. Their record's solid. I was talking with a buddy earlier in the week about this, if the Packers don't trade for someone, he was like, they have to be 100% in, or 100% knowing that, like, the Packers are going to get Odell Beckham. I'd be honest, like, if the Packers think they're 100% certain to get Odell, they've either been lied to or they are fools. Because with that record, I don't know if it's possible to get a guy like Odell. I think you need to be in the hunt. They got to win a couple more football games to be able to get a guy like Odell, in my opinion. Do I think the Giants would be a good fit? I know there's a lot of history there that can muddy the waters, but sometimes it is good to go back to where things started and, just see once again. You sign a short-term deal, maybe 1-2 years, probably another 1 year or half a year at this point. Get him in the building. He's like, comes back from his injury. He's a stud, making one-handed catches again. It'd be a great thing to see. You would have to love to see it from Odell. So that'll be interesting to see. Odell Watch 2022, very much a real thing. I feel like Brian from Anchorman when I say that with the Panda Watch. But that's all we got for today. We're probably going to be switching our schedule to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, doing a daily show. I don't get how Pat and the boys do it because hot damn, it's a lot of time and energy, and that ain't no BS. So we might be switching to more Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll keep you guys updated about that because we love bringing the NFL news. But sometimes, some days, there's just a little bit of a lack of NFL news. A little lack of drama, controversy, all that stuff. So when we do come on here, we want to make sure we are presenting you guys with some great NFL news. It's jam-packed, it's fun-filled, exciting, But that's all we have for today's episode, Monday Evening Football Daily Show. That is a little less daily. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll probably see you on Friday. Maybe tomorrow, but definitely Friday. We'll have Scotty O's 12-13 leg parlay, depending on what it is. We'll have that for you. Feel free to bet along. This past week, we took a couple steps back. We went 6-7. We're hoping to get back to a 12-0 record on the week or a 13-0 record on the week, because when that happens, we win, and when we win, if you're playing alongside us, you win. So, thanks again for tuning in. We will see